to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina. And for those of you that don't know who we are, Ron and I are the co-founders of the Ridge Project and the co-creators of TYRO.
TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
Warrior.
And that's what we get to do. We get to empower people to really find out, are you a healthy warrior or are you a grown man with little boy issues?
Because when we talk about the word warrior, we mean someone that has learned and knows how to fight, knows what they're fighting for. So that we're training people to be warriors in order to become leaders in their home, their community, and their workplace.
We think about leaders in their home. You know, have you ever seen companies where they go out of business, or maybe the owners, you know, drove them into the ground, right? And took them down under whatever happens. But even in being a man of honor, being a father, being a husband, trying to run your home, are you putting your family in that place where you're driving it into the ground?
Are you running your family into the ground?
Yeah, running your family, that's
yes.
the word.
So Ron and I, we developed TYRO out of our own personal experience.
Because I was running our family where?
Into the ground.
Into the ground.
That's absolutely right. So we'd been married for 5 years, we had 2 little kids, and Ron went to prison. He went to prison for 15 years for a crime he didn't commit.
Now that doesn't mean I shouldn't have been there, fellas. Now listen, we're going to keep it real, right?
That's
We
right.
already know people can trump charges and all that stuff, but that is no excuse where you couldn't be taken at your word. So we know right now, first-hand experience, no matter where you're at, you can change, you can become better, not bitter. But when you don't own your experience, when you don't own the things that you created in your life, you will become bitter, you become angry, and you'll be distraught, and you will carry that everywhere you go.
Oh, yes, you will. And it will poison everything in your life. If you are wanting something better, you're wanting something different for your family, then you are at the right place at the right time. You want to stay tuned as we share with you what it means to overcome every obstacle and all the garbage in your life and build something new.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how do you go from one chapter to another, or a level in your life, but you leave the garbage behind for every new level, next level living, right? That's what we're talking about.
That's
when you're thinking forward in your family, how do you get rid of the garbage that you create, right, in every chapter of your life?
Wait, say again. That who created?
That I created, that you personally
created, right.
Right? Because as human beings, we are great at making trash.
We are. We produce trash all the time,
All
right?
the time.
And so today we're going to talk about how to get rid of that trash, what to do with it, and what to do next.
All right, so stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. Make sure you got some paper and pencil, and let's get started.
We'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we're talking about taking out the garbage.
That's right, getting the garbage out of your life. If you've ever seen the show Hoarders, you know what it looks like when people just keep piling trash in and piling trash in. Now imagine that inside of you, and you're just collecting all this garbage, and it's suffocating your potential.
But how do you get rid of it? You know, what is it that we're talking about? We're talking about when you have a purpose in life, but you don't know how to manifest your purpose. You don't know how to go forward with your purpose. And then if you try to do something, you always wind up at the same place you started with, maybe making more mistakes because of our thinking. So today we're going to talk, how do you take care of the garbage of your thoughts? How do you take care of your garbage of your relationships? Because we create so much trash as human beings that we just can't stop producing garbage.
Right. But what do we do with the trash that we create outside of us? It's like, okay, it's trash day. We put it in a bag. We take it out. We get it out of our area, far from us. But the trash that we take in, what are we doing with that?
We're hoarders.
We're hoarders.
We keep it. So today we're going to talk about what is it, why is it important, and how to get rid of it.
Yes. Oh, buddy. Because if you keep going, we think about, what are we talking about the trash? We're talking about stuff that you take in stuff that you're watching, stuff that you're reading, conversations that you're having with people, or you're hanging on to trash, you're hanging on to bitterness and unforgiveness from things that happened way back when, and you want to carry it forward today, something that happened 30 years ago. You've never taken out the trash. You keep hanging on to it, hanging on to it, and it keeps piling up and piling up.
You know, I think a lot of people that maybe be getting sick and having all these type of things happen to them is probably because of the trash that we accumulate within our thinking, within our own being, that we don't know how to dispel it or get rid of it, or how to remove it to put something healthy within ourselves. And you said it, you know, what we watch on TV, I think, has a lot to do with it. Right? What we read,
the music we listen to, what's the messaging that you're taking in? It's either reinforcing the poison and reinforcing that, you know what, keep the trash all bottled up in here, and those stinking thinking patterns, or it's challenging you to become better.
So, you know, when you said it, stinking thinking, you know, we think about our past, you know, like, and people live in their past. No, even if it's dysfunctional, even if they know people were hurt and people were wounded, maybe you're still holding on to bad relationships you had to, and you haven't dealt with the issues, you haven't brought no resolution to it, so you carry that garbage into a new relationship, and you wonder why it won't work.
That's right.
Right?
And you just get all this smell, right? You're just dragging it with you.
Smelling
and it's
rotten.
Deeper, that's right. Everything that you say, it's rotten, it's causing destruction and poison and death. Everywhere you go, it's all full of germs, right? Now you think about all that trash. Now think about all that's in your mind, right? Your spirit, your emotions, and you're dragging it with you.
You know,
that's what we're talking about.
They just did a study recently, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but they just did a study out here. They got in McDonald's now. When you walk into McDonald's, they got these kiosks now that you can you don't even got to go up and check. Talk to the clerk or anything. You can just order your food right there when you walk into McDonald's.
You can pay for it right there.
Right there, a little kiosk machine, and you touch the screen and you pick your food. You pay for it. Boom, and you just stand there and they're going to bring your food to you. But they just did a study, and every McDonald's in the United States had this substance on this thing, and it was called feces. They had feces on these kiosks.
Right.
And
people going in with feces on their hands, touching the screen, and you're coming in behind them.
And so you got to ask yourself, what are you leaving behind? What type of residue are you leaving behind in everything in your area of your life? Are you creating feces everywhere you go?
As you show up, are people going, ew, like, oh gosh, here he comes, right? Or are people being like, yeah, come on into my environment, because you're radiating and emitting some sort of fragrance or stink by your attitude. And that comes from all the garbage that you have in here, or all the good stuff that you have in here. So if you're all cleaned up, right, you're sober, that you've dealt with issues, then you are emanating a sweet smell. But if you're dragging garbage and trash with you, you stink.
And what is it? That's poison.
That's right.
That's poison. That's what you're taking into every area of your life. Instead of being the antidote, right, you're the poison. And we as tyros, dads, listen to us. We as tyros, we become the antidote, because once in our life we was that venom, that spewing venom everywhere we went, and creating chaos, creating destruction, creating despair, creating disease everywhere we went, right? But now as you become a tyro, a man of honor, you understand now that you're no longer the garbage that's walking into people's lives. You're now that sweet smelling fragrance that they want to use. That wherever you go, you bring it. You show up and you show out, right? And that's what we're talking about.
That's right. And when we come back, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about why it's so important to figure out what the garbage is in your life and get rid of it.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Cathy Tijerina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions. to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we're talking about garbage or trash or the
Ooh,
poison that we create and that we take into other areas of our life. Even when they're brand new chapters in our life, we always take the old garbage into it.
In our homes, there's garbage day. Where you are, there's garbage time. You wrap up your garbage, you get it out, right? But we never do that with the internal garbage. We just keep piling it up, and we carry it forward with us. If we really want to be successful, and Dad, I know you really want to be successful, you've got to get rid of the garbage.
Man,
got to do it.
You know, if you had more than one relationship, maybe one more marriage, or you have a lot of women, and you have a lot of kids by these women that you used to associate yourself with, right?
The women used to accumulate.
Yeah, but and you know that's grown men with little boy issues.
That's right.
Right? I mean, dads all the time they tell me they got 6, 7, 8, 9 kids. Well, how many women? By how many women? And they tell me 3 or 4 women, and they're not married to none of them. You know, and they continue this cycle of self-destruction everywhere they go. Well, that's what garbage is. You keep taking that childlike behavior into every relationship of your life. Well, you got to examine yourself, and you got to come to a place in your life. You know what? I don't want to create poison anymore. I don't want to create this generational cycles of destruction.
I don't want to carry this crap with me anymore. It's time to get rid of it. And if you're thinking like that, then you're thinking the right way. But now you're probably saying, okay, well, why is it important? So if you're feeling challenged, but you're just like, well, what's the big deal? Like, I'm locked up, you know what? So what? I'll clean up later. Okay, so let me tell you why it's so important. Because practice makes permanent. Say that.
Practice makes permanent.
So the things that you've been practicing have become permanent. We talk about the hoarders, right? The people that just keep piling stuff up. And then it's become so permanent in their life that even when people come in and help them clear it all out, what do? They
do it all over again.
They do it all over again. They just pile it back in.
Do you know why that happens? Is because practice makes permanent. You haven't began practicing this new type of thinking or new behavior.
Right.
And 21 days will change a habit, right? Successful people understand this. Now listen, they know that if they're doing something that is not moving them forward with their visions and their dreams, they examine that and they say, okay, I need to change my habits. I need to change the way I think. And if that means you got to do a self-autopsy.
Right.
You got to go and examine yourself to find out what is the poison in my life that's stopping me from reaching my dreams or goals.
Where am I carrying around death? Find out the cause of it and get it out. Because if you don't, Dad, you will never lead your children well. You will teach your children to keep it all bottled up inside. They will watch how you live your life and they will emulate you. And they will do without you. They will either do what you do or they will do without you. If you want to be a strong presence in your children's life, you have got to clean up the garbage in your own life.
And this is really important. Practice makes permanent, dads. Listen, that means this is action. This is not something you can just sit back and wait for it to happen.
Right.
If you want to change in your life, if you want to start taking the trash out, then you got to get to work. You got to roll up your sleeves.
Yep.
You got to be humble about it, and you got to be real about it,
Yep.
right? That means you got to examine yourself, and you got to tell the truth about who? About you.
Ooh.
You know, about you. And if that means, you look at the garbage, and when you start to peel this garbage bag open in your life, you're going to see all the maggots that have been accumulating in your life. Because if you got a dead carcass outside, right, and we have this powerful dog right at our property, and we average about at least once a month, our dog, anything other animal,
I'm going to say every other week.
yeah, every other week.
If
If there's an animal that comes into our property, our dog. That's
and we're talking about nuisance animals,
right?
not other people's
And this is
pets.
mainly possums, raccoons, and our dog will bring us a dead animal carcass, but it's been sitting there 2-3 days, and it's already accumulates maggots. So in our lives, you got to look at that. What are we accumulating? What type of carcasses do we have in our lives?
And you can't depend on someone else. Like we hear all the time, whose turn is it to take out the trash? Guess what, Dad? It's your turn.
It's always your turn.
It's your turn to take out the trash. Get the trash out. Find out what it is that's creating poison and get it out
Well, you know
before
what?
it's too late.
And that's the thing. I remember growing up, my dad, how many times did he have to tell me how to take the trash out? And I knew every Thursday the trash man came, but Wednesday night come, I'd forget. And then I take it personal because I got in trouble.
Yep.
Because I didn't do what I was told to do. But then I took that into my adulthood life, and I guess what? Because I didn't care, right? I bottled it up. The garbage accumulated. And I couldn't have healthy relationships. I couldn't have healthy friendships.
Yeah.
I couldn't have a healthy employment because there was so much trash in my life that I wouldn't get it. And guess what? I blamed everybody else, right? But who? But me.
That's
because
right.
it was their fault. It was they didn't like me. They were always out to get me.
Or they created the garbage, and now I'm stuck carrying it around, right? You know what? Whoever it is that's dumping garbage on you, it's still your responsibility to get rid of it. You have the choice, the decision that you must make whether or not you're going to carry that trash. Nobody's forcing you to carry it. So just because other people don't recognize your worth or your value, they've treated you badly, or bad things have happened to you, guess what? It doesn't make it okay for you to drag it forward into your future. Leave it there, leave it in your past, dump it. Get rid of that garbage because it is holding you back from living up to your potential. It's going to hold your family back.
And some of that garbage is grudges, right? When you hold a grudge, somebody did you wrong. You know what? Let it go. You got a chance in there while you're locked up, while you're incarcerated, to reinvent yourself. Look at yourself. You know, we did wrong to a lot of people. Keep it real, right? And you're asking them to forgive you, or maybe you don't even care, right? But you still got an opportunity to own your part of the situation, own your story, right? We teach people all the time, look, first thing for success, own your story, right? And then go and apologize to people, reconcile the story, go apologize to all the people in your story. Now that's what we're talking about, taking care of the trash.
Right, and step 2, because everybody knows, okay, we got to own my story. Or they've heard it, right? The second one is reconciling your story. That's a big deal because if you don't do it, then you will have dysfunction for the rest of your life. You will never, ever, ever achieve your dreams if you don't get the trash out.
And so the third one in this, I know we're talking about how to do this, but we're talking about that you went to own your story, reconcile your story, and then tell your story.
And it is so important. If you want to overcome everything and you want to see your children go well and you want to maintain relationship with your family, you've got to get the garbage out. You have to get the garbage out.
You know, Kathy and I are really passionate about this subject because we see a lot of people going from generation to generation to generation, and they're asking, why is this happening to me? Well, because you were taught something that was poison, and that poison was from your dad, your dad's dad, your mom, everybody, and this is a generational thing that's went on, and they're like, wait, why am I always, I'm like 5 generations, I'm the 5th generation on food stamps. How is that possible? Well,
or we see the brokenness, right? So the brokenness either like, wow, I didn't want this for my kids and they're just like me, or I have no relationship with my children, they'll have nothing to do with me. You have to remember this one phrase. Remember 2 phrases. I have to take out the garbage, say that.
I have to take out the garbage
because my kids are going to do one of 2 things. They're either going to do what I do or they're going to do without me.
And that's a hard truth to hear, dads, but it's a truth that needs to be said and needs to be said loud and needs to be said like we're saying it. But the thing is, it's not enough for us to just say it. You need to look in the mirror and you need to say it. My kids are either going to do what I do or they're going to do without me. So dads, if you want your kids to do what you do, then you need to be that example of how to take the trash out, how to be healthy, and what that looks like. That means you can teach your children this is the things that they need to do as they grow up, because guess what? Everybody makes trash.
Right. And so on that note, we're going to pause. We'll be right back after this message, and we will share with you how to do it. So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about Mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we're talking about take out the garbage.
Get the trash out.
Man, you know what? This is a serious subject, sweetheart.
It is, for
I know
real.
we're having a good time talking about it, but I also want to say, you know, before we get into really on how to do this, you know, is this is how you create a generation of healthiness.
That's right.
The next generation where they understand that even though they're going to make trash, they know what to do with the trash when they make it. They don't hoard it.
That's a great and good,
Yeah.
right? A great point. You're gonna make trash.
You're going to make it.
It's just part of being human. Everybody does things, that they make mistakes, they get into conflict, they have misunderstandings, people hurt their feelings, expectations aren't met, whatever it is. Trash happens. But if we don't know what to do with that trash is when we find ourselves in a bad position. And I want you to just think about that. Think about all the events that led up to the place where you committed the crime for which you were serving the time. Whatever it was that happened, you can see where all the garbage started, and you just kept taking it in and taking it in and taking it in and believing the lie because you convince yourself it's okay and that this is the consequence. Now, it's time to make a change. You're in the best place possible to say, you know what, I need to begin to do something different, and you need to start now.
Now listen, not everybody's sitting down listening and watching Cathy and I speak.
And that's okay.
And that's okay, but for those of you who are sitting down and catching all this show, listen, this is really important. You're going to make trash. You're going to make garbage, but it's what you do after the fact, right? That is key to your success, right? Do you ignore it, right? And you believe it's just going to go away all by itself? Or do you feed it?
Or do you face it?
Or do you face it?
Right.
You ignore it, feed it, face it. You know, and we want to empower you. We want to encourage you. Face it, get rid of it.
That's right.
Because you're going to make more, right?
Because if you ignore it, it's just going to keep piling up. And if you feed it, then that means you are deliberately making a conscious decision to continue to do what you've always done. And you know what, Dad? If that's how you're going to live, then you've got to understand that you are providing a path of destruction for yourself and for your children, or you're going to lose your kids.
You know, I was talking to a guy in penitentiary just last week, and he was telling me about his circumstances of what got him there. And he was still in denial. He was still blaming the system, blaming everybody else from getting there. And I said, so what is it what were you creating in your life that was preventing you from coming here? And that was the key question. What were you doing in your life that was preventing you from coming here? And he didn't have an answer. I said, he said, what do you mean? He didn't understand. I said, so what were you doing that was positive, that was healthy, and that was transcending? That was, in other words, that you could empower others to look like you.
Yeah.
He did not have an answer. I said, okay, so what were you doing that got you here? You see, that's the other question.
Yeah.
In other words, what garbage were you building or creating that got you here?
That's right.
And when you look at it that way, now you're being real and you're being honest with yourself. Well, you know what? I wasn't working. I didn't have a job. I was trying to cut corners, and I was trying to make money the illegal way. You know what? I was sleeping around with other people. I was always getting drunk. I said, so you weren't creating a lifestyle that was healthy or one that you were proud of.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
You were creating garbage and trash, one that people would rather take out their house and not put on an ornament, not put on a mantle.
Right.
So you don't put garbage on a mantle in a fireplace. You put something prideful. You put something that's beautiful on the mantle for all to see.
That's right.
Right? And so that's what we're telling you to do. What are you creating? Are you creating trash that people will say, man, get that out of my house? And no, and you're
That's
talking
right. That's
personally.
right. Yeah.
Get out of my house. You can't
Right.
come in here.
Yep.
Right?
You're not invited any place. Nobody wants you around because you are trash.
Oh,
You're
man.
dragging trash and garbage with you. Time to take out the trash. Come on, Dad. And so when we think about the three things that Ron talked about that you can do, either ignore it, feed it. Okay, you don't want to do either one of those. Now we're going to talk to you how to get rid of it. You've got to face it. And face it is an acronym. For the first thing is you've got to be focused. You've got to understand what your goals are, and you've got to focus on those goals.
And then the next one is you got to be authentic, right?
Yeah.
You got to be authentic. You got to be authentic about it. In other words, don't
be real.
Don't fake it till you make it. I know we say that in the joint all the time. Fake it till you make it. Listen, be authentic. If you're authentic, even in your mistakes, you're authentic about it.
Right.
Right? Because failure is not fatal, nor is it final.
Right.
Right.
So you're focused, you're authentic, and you're caring. You've got to exhibit self-care, right, first, and then caring for other people. Because if you don't care, then you're not going to do it. So as you focus in on what your dreams are and what it is you're trying to achieve and what it is holding you back, be authentic, be real, be who you are, and recognize, hey, those things cause me pain, but but it's okay to leave it there and overcome and recover.
And in caring, that's it. You're caring not only for you, but for what you're producing in other people's lives. You're not creating trash in their lives. You're creating something that they would want to put on their mantle.
Right.
And that's you and them. When you put that family picture in, it's authentic, it's real, because you're focused and you care for all those people that you're imparting this stuff to, man.
Yes, and then the final one in FACE is the E, and that is ethical. When you behave ethically, you do the right thing no matter what, then you are taking out that trash, and that trash is no longer have any power or authority over you. But as long as you behave unethically, right, you find ways around things, you're adding to the trash.
You know, I heard a TYRO not too long ago, another TYRO, you know, and it was a great saying that he empowered me to embrace. He said, I said, how are you staying focused? He said, I'm always looking for the next right thing. He said, I'm always looking for the next right thing. I said, say that again. He said, I'm always looking for the next right thing. I'm doing the right thing, so I'm waiting for the next right thing to come my way, and I'm creating it. But then let me tell you about the TYRO. He fell. Why? Because he didn't practice D-tip. He didn't. You see, you got to practice all these principles, TYRO.
Right.
You got to activate it. This isn't coming to a sleeper. Listen, you might get caught. You might be doing great in one area of your life, but you got this other area of your life you're still battling with. So he took something personal, right? He didn't practice D-tip here, but he was looking for the next right thing. That was the next right thing, and he fell short. He wound up getting caught up, DUI, going back to jail, because why? He didn't practice being a TYRO in
He didn't face everything, so he wasn't focused on everything, right? He said, you know what? He was authentic, but he didn't have the whole face it. He wasn't focused, he wasn't acting ethically, and he didn't care anymore about him or the consequences. So if you take any of those letters out, then you don't have the whole formula. So we talked about how, but we got to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap it all up for you in our final segment of today's show.
And we'll be right back. Don't go away.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Cathy Tijerina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions. To own it, you'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina, and today we are talking about taking out the trash. So we've talked a lot about what it is, about why it's important, and we even shared how to do it.
You know, and I think for me in this segment, this whole episode, Cathy, is really a revelation for me that we make trash every day.
Oh, wait.
We make trash every day, and so there's no one exempt.
Right.
There's no one exempt from this experience. It's what happens is when we don't want to deal with the trash that we make, and then we try to tell others, you deal with it.
I mean,
right?
The trash that we make every day might be procrastination, right? It might be lying. It might be cheating. It might be pretending like
It might be sleeping in.
Right. It might be not exhibiting care towards other people. Whatever it is, the trash that you're creating, you've got to make sure that you are on janitorial duty at all times and making sure that you are cleaning up after yourself to make sure that it is not suffocating your potential out of you.
And I know we talked a little bit about this, but I want to really emphasize that one of the key ingredients to when you deal with the trash that you create, you gotta and I love what you said, be the janitor in your own life, right? Yeah. Clean up after yourself. That means you gotta apologize. You might be apologizing 300, 400, 500 times a day.
That's right.
But you do it. You do it because practice makes what? Permanent.
Practice makes permanent, Dad, and you are creating a permanent legacy for your children to come after you. And we also talked about, this is really important, we told you 2 things that you need to write down. If you didn't write them down, take time to write them down right now. 1, take out the trash. I have to take out the trash.
Take out the trash.
1. And number 2
is either your kids are going to do what you do or they're going to do without you.
And so if you want your family in your life and you want to see your children do well, you have got to take out your own trash and you've got to begin to do well.
So, Dads, let me ask you this. What do you smell like? Do you smell like week-old garbage, month-old trash? And I know all of us who have have an apartment, had a house and stuff like that. And when you spill something, it's a hot summer day, and you spill something in your trash can, or you got food that's out there, right?
Yeah.
And you walk away from it, and you come back 2 or 3 days later, and you got these white larva things all over your garbage, and you're like, what the heck? And you know what it is? They're maggots from the eggs of flies that landed on your trash, right? So and then sometimes you try to deal with it, and you spill them on your concrete or your garage floor, and you're like, oh, you start to sweep them up, but they're you watch them.
Okay. So imagine that all going on inside of you, and decide right now, Dad, that you're going to get rid of the trash. Decide right now that you're going to avoid the things that cause you to stumble and fall into places that just add garbage to your life. Find places that help you clean up and stay clean up and stand up and walk straight.
Be healthy. Be clean. In here and in here. Listen, if your thoughts are of trash and of garbage, start to figure it out. Listen, I need to start thinking of things that are pure, that are honest, that will help me move my family in a way that is healthy and successful. But if you're still thinking like you're going to go out and hustle tomorrow night somebody else's wife, or you're going to go out and try to sell some more dope, or you're going to go out and try to get over on somebody and circumvent the process of what it means to be successful, then you're still creating trash and garbage in your life that is detrimental not only to you, but to your society, to your community, to your state, and your nation.
So think about if. When you think about what you want to do, so if, I-F-F. You either ignore it, you feed it, or you face it. And remember, you want to face it. So we just want to thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey today.
I know it's pretty heavy today, but you can carry it. So thank you for letting us be part of your journey, as Cathy said. Until next time, always remember
that
we are rooting for you.